So, dear ladies and gentlemen, we are living through a moment of a major global transformation. The way we produce, consume, and grow is changing, and the cities are at the heart of it, especially in emerging and developing economies. Cities are where climate action meets opportunity. Because decarbonizing cities, it's not just about cutting emissions, it's about building the industries of the future. Circularity is not an climate imperative per se, it's an economic and industrial development strategy, one that creates markets, new jobs, that reduces risks and strengthens local economies. And it's not just about solar rooftops or electric buses. It's about transforming the urban industrial systems that power our everyday life. How we make cement, steel, textiles, food, how we move goods, how we manage waste, and how we design our technologies. And to get there, we need to connect urban planning, climate action, industrial strategy, not as separate agendas, but as one integrated vision. And this is at the center of the vision in the circular economy. Circular economy is not just a recycling campaign. It's a new logic of development. It's about designing out waste, keeping materials in use, creating new value from what we already have. And almost half of the global emissions come not from energy, but actually from how we make and use our materials. We can move to the next slide. Circularity is therefore not just good for our planet, it's also essential for our competitiveness. And when industries loop resources, cities grow cleaner, smarter, and also more resilient. And this is how we align economic growth with climate ambition. And when we talk about circular cities, Amsterdam very often comes up. And this is for a reason, for a good reason. It's one of the first cities in the world to treat circularity not as... Hello, can you hear me? So Amsterdam is the first city in the world to treat circularity not as a project, but as a system-wide strategy. Amsterdam's approach is policy-driven and it's also integrated. It connects housing, construction, food, procurement, all under one circular vision. And what is the goal? The goal is full circularity by 2050. And the city of Amsterdam turned entire neighborhoods into living labs, testing modular buildings, water reuse systems, local resource recovery. The city even changed the way it is governed, and it adopted the donut economics framework to guide the planning and investment decisions. And I will talk about the framework in a while. And the question for Amsterdam is not just how do we grow, it's rather how do we thrive within the planetary limits that we have. And here in Amsterdam, the private sector plays a huge role. So Amsterdam actively incubates circular startups, such as, for example, Fairphone. And you might ask, what does it matter for India, actually? And I think it matters a lot because across all of the cities globally, the same principles apply to make them circular. So for Indian cities, it might mean to learn how to integrate circular economy thinking into public procurement, urban planning and zoning, how to pilot entire circular districts, and how to turn cities into engines of innovation, but also resilience. And when we look at Amsterdam's model, we might also ask, what is actually driving it? It's not just policy or innovation. It's a mindset. It's a new way of defining prosperity. And here I would like to turn to the donut economics framework that you can see on the screen. The framework was created by Kate Raworth, and it's a very simple, but at the same time, a very radical idea. The idea is that the goal of the economy should be to make sure that everyone thrives without pushing the planet beyond its limits. So you can imagine a donut. The inner ring represents the social foundation. So the basics that every person deserves, which is food, water, housing, health, education, equality. And the outer ring is the ecological ceiling. So the boundaries that we must not cross, such as climate change, pollution, biodiversity loss, and resource depletion. And between these two rings, there is a safe and just space for humanity, a space where people and planet can thrive together. And this is the shift from asking how much the economy grows to asking whether the growth helps us live well within our means. Now, for India, this framework couldn't be more relevant. India is a young, fast-growing country with incredible talent, but also huge social needs and rising environmental pressures. And the donut gives us a compass to grow our industries, our cities, and our economy in a way that's both inclusive and sustainable. And now let's move to Latin America, to Bogota, Colombia. So if Amsterdam shows us how circularity can be driven by policy and innovation, Bogota shows us how it can be driven by inclusion and resilience. Bogota's circular economy strategy runs until 2030, and it's remarkable for one reason. It does not start with big corporations or advanced infrastructure. It starts with people, with the informal sector, small businesses, waste pickers, who already keep the city running. The strategy focuses on three powerful areas, which is reusing construction materials, then industrial symbiosis, where one industry's waste becomes another's resource, and thirdly, organic waste valorization, taking waste into energy or compost. It is very practical, it's very grounded, and it works within the real constraints, financial, institutional, and social constraints. Because Bogota operates under conditions very similar to ours here in India, which are rapid urbanization, informality, resource stress, and ambitious social goals, Bogota can share some lessons, in particular about formalizing the informal sector, building city-level circular economy hubs to support entrepreneurs, and strengthening public-private partnerships in waste and construction, sectors that are massive job creators in our own Indian cities. So Latin American cities show that circularity doesn't need perfect systems to start. It needs purpose, collaboration, and trust. And that's a lesson India can absolutely lead with. So what do Amsterdam and Bogota teach us? They teach us that circularity is not a single model. It's a mindset that can take root anywhere in different ways under different conditions. Amsterdam shows us how policy, governance, and business can align for systemic change. Bogota, in turn, shows us how inclusion and informality can become engines of innovation. And this brings us back to India, because we stand right between these two worlds. We understand the realities of Bogota, and we have the ambition and scale of Amsterdam. I think that India is best placed to lead the South-South and North-South partnerships through circular economy knowledge sharing. India can also build meaningful city-to-city collaborations For example, imagine Chennai and Bogota exchanging lessons on waste valorization, or Pune and Amsterdam co-developing circular construction pilots. We can also enable technology transfer from decentralized waste to resource systems, to sludge valorization, secondary material markets. And for that, I also encourage Indian cities to use multilateral platforms, working with partners such as UNIDO to scale impact and technical assistance. Circular economy is not just about closing loops. It's about opening connections between cities, industries, and also, most importantly, between people. We are living through one of the biggest realignments in human history. Economies globally are shifting, populations are growing and moving, technology is accelerating, and the planet is pushing back. In all this turbulence, one thing is clear: the cities are rising. They are becoming new engines of climate action and economic power. And I would like to leave you with one final statement for reflection. So the cities that learn how to close the loops will be the ones that truly can open the sustainable future. Thank you very much.